Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story, and I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen. Cannonball!
Welcome back to the Just Chirpin podcast, the show that talks about hockey, life, and everything in between.
Well, how you guys doing tonight?
Salute, boys.
Cheers, gents.
Hey.
Oh, you got to tap it or it's not real.
Oh, I'm holding off on mine.
You're holding off on yours.
Hey.
Just for a quick second here. That just looks absolutely awful, guys.
Oh, boys.
You didn't chill it?
I did not.
You are the worst bartender ever.
Well, you guys were telling me how bad you didn't want to do it. So I totally made it as worse as possible. But, hey, Pink Whitney can taste good cold or warm.
Not a sponsor yet.
Not a sponsor yet.
Oh,
So,
that was brutal.
What's up, boys? Chris?
Whoops.
Well, partook in some Pink Whitney here over the weekend. Was in Vegas celebrating Stephan Producer's 10-year anniversary.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Which happened a while ago. I don't mean to steal your thunder on that. I think we'll talk about Vegas
A little later.
on in the show here. You know, there's a little bit to get into and stuff. So beyond that, I am living my best fall life ever with endless leaf cleanup.
Yeah.
It never ends. So that was a nice thing to come home to.
I hear that.
2 days worth of work at night.
Did you get the hot tub yet?
It has not come in yet. And the Highlander was running a little rough since I've been back. So unless that hot tub comes with wheels and an engine, it might have to be one or the other.
Oh, no.
Depending on when it, or if it, finally
So
takes a clink.
So it is true for the old crowd out there. A Highlander. There can only be one.
Best movie ever.
I tried to watch that movie. It's terrible. And I'll take a punch to the face for saying that.
Are you serious?
But what's the name? It's the same
Sean
guy.
Connery?
No, the same guy that played the Punisher, the first Punisher. That's the Highlander. Like, geez,
this is where I'm
Highlander.
supposed to look it up.
Yeah.
I'm getting used to this whole computer thing, guys.
Is it? Because I really. Oh, it is. You're right. Because
Mhm.
he was in the.
Yeah,
Who,
he's
Jean-Claude
the
Van Damme?
No,
No,
Van Damme.
Hey, I don't know. Never saw the movie.
the Highlander and the. Well, you saw the Punisher, right? The original.
No.
You never saw the
John
Punisher?
Travolta's the
No.
bad guy in that
Oh.
thing.
Yeah, he is. So if you've never seen the Punisher, bro, you gotta watch it.
Yes.
I just put that on the list.
No, and don't watch the watch the original first Punisher because there's
So-
like 4 of them now.
Yeah, the Netflix one did the best, but we can do that on another show.
yeah,
I digress.
Oh man.
Are you talking Highlander the season?
No,
Series?
the movie. It's
Because
like
it looked
from
like
the-
there was a series.
it's like from the
Punisher?
80s.
Yeah, 1980s or 90s.
Oh,
Yeah.
British fantasy.
I want to say they did not do Punisher right ever until Netflix, and I enjoyed that a lot. That was a good ride.
Sean Connery is the big name in there.
You're still looking up Highlander. We're telling you to look up Punisher.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
I am. All right, guys. This is not working so far. Sorry.
I was disconnected as well.
Yeah, Punisher 80s, 90s.
I just wanted to talk about leaves.
Look what it's.
You can get us
Or
that
leaves,
fact, and
excuse
then you can talk all the leaves you want. Were they oak, maple, sequoia?
Little maple.
Not as many since they had that big tree taken down.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
know
I'm-
that.
Glad they got rid of that before they all fell.
Yeah, at the new pad, we have 3 big oak trees. And I seriously do not enjoy this at all. Beth looks at me like, "Are you gonna help?" I'm like, "You wanted the place."
So not to backtrack, but Thomas Jane would be the guy that played the Punisher in The Punisher. However,
I want to know the year.
when I look up, so 1986 is saying Highlander credits, and when I look this up, I'm getting Now look, just you tell me what you
I
think.
thought we had moved on to the Punisher.
Yeah, I thought. Well, no, we're talking about the actor that's a part of this thing, but he also did Beauty and the Beast or something. Yeah, that guy.
That's Thomas
Yeah.
Jane. He's the Punisher.
Yeah, Wednesday nights.
So that's from Highlander. So why is Sean Connery? So I got through like 5 minutes of the movie and I was like, I can't.
Sean
watch
Connery's the one that kind of time travels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's kind of like the mentor guy, taking him through the journey to be the one.
To be the so 1986 we're looking
86 or
at.
Of course, it's gonna be terrible. It's kind of like.
Well, it's 1986. That long hair.
Weren't you guys born that year?
That's true.
No, that was 12 years after I was born.
That is also true.
Funny.
When were you guys born?
86.
86.
12
was a
years
joke.
after you were born.
Oh my gosh! Can somebody get me a rope?
Yeah, you were already.
You want a tree,
you were already
too?
jerking your little turkey tom by the time we were born.
It'll,
You
ma-
don't even know how true that is.
it'll make you go blind.
Well, who said that?
Well, that's why he wears glasses.
Everybody.
Who said that?
Good one.
So Chris, you went to you got the leaves. What
That's
it?
about
Take me
it
through this.
outside of
Well,
Vegas.
if you've ever
so-
cleaned leaves, the joke ends there. It sucks.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
sucks. Especially my mom's house as well. So take care of the yard over there. And yes.
You know what? On that note of doing leaves, I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but like we kind of butt up to the like back end of a park, and so we don't
just blow them all in there.
exactly what I've been doing. And everybody on our street has like the foliage dump, and then they have regular trash. I'm like,
Can't-
if you're gonna use that thing, fill it up and dump it in the
You're,
woods.
you're in the city though, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like city ordinance. Can't you just push them into the road and they come clean them?
No, you don't push anything.
That's
in the road.
only in your highbrow cities like
Holland
East
does
Grand
it.
Rapids.
Yeah, East Grand Rapids.
Yeah, no, you don't do that.
And the Holland.
Well, that's how
area.
they work. Yeah, in Holland. Like I dated a girl there years
you don't
ago.
do that in the Kent Hood. You don't do that.
No,
I
never,
blew
never.
them right into the road.
Somebody crashes on their bike, I'm gonna get you in trouble.
Yeah.
It would actually be nice in the city, especially in the up and coming area that I live in, of where everybody just blows them into the
You're not
street.
supposed to.
So,
Technically,
there you go.
Up and coming.
you're not supposed to just blow them like. You're supposed to like make them a nice pile, like where a car
Right, because
would
they come
go.
by with their little big
The
suction
big
truck
sweeper
and
thing,
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys living in the fancy area.
No, I don't live there. Somebody else
Fancy.
does.
The Facebook ad, they must have known. They know the weather up here, so I got the Facebook ads.
Yeah.
$89, and this service will come out for 15 minutes and
Suck 'em
suck
up.
them all up.
Really?
Yeah, they ride their lawnmower around with a little collector thing.
Really? I know a few girls that would.
You know a few
Anyway,
girls that could
no,
suck
no,
the
no.
chrome off of a trailer hitch, so they'd be pretty good at that. That's what you're saying.
No, they're great movie basketball. Anyways,
I'm done with this.
I know. Yeah, see, you got it. Anything else, Chris, before we jump
No
into
way, man.
the
That's it.
actual big weekend?
Well, we gotta jump into you and then Stephan.
You know what? I seriously, we decided maybe recording. I don't know if it's going to work tonight or not. So
I'm kind of excited to see
you
how
know,
the
so
the
I'm
video
recording.
goes.
It's a little bit exciting for me. That's kind of more the avenue I want to go personally. So I did this quite a bit over the last few days.
You
and
made
we
us
got-
these nice little outlines. Look at those.
I know.
Those are professional outlines.
We
bro.
are legit. We're trying to get there.
It's a National League show now.
Other than that, just going through the boxes and trying to set things up. So like trying to make the house a home.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because that's right. Does it feel like home? You said you slept last week was your first night sleeping there.
No, we've been there actually a month now. To be honest with you.
Jeez.
Really?
Yeah,
Like
that went quick.
sleeping a full month?
Yeah, we were officially in, I want to say October 1st or 2nd. So yeah.
So now is it like the creaks of the house are starting to become
To be-
normal?
You know what? You said it, and I'm going to say it anyways. Is to be honest, I can't lie to you.
Oh no, you can say to be honest.
Yeah, it's really actually quiet. I went over there in the moving stage, if you will, and there's a few nights that I went there real super late because, like, I want to check this out. I want to see if some creepy fucking face comes around the corner and starts stalking me, or I hear the upstairs making noise and shit.
There's always, especially it's a little older house, so
Yeah,
like there's
1955.
usually- there's usually always creaks and bends and
You know
pops.
what? It is settled really, really well, I guess. So if I hear something, I'm keyed in.
High alert.
Yep, I'm on high alert now.
You're like, do you realize I almost just shot you? Stop making noises.
Absolutely. Beth has this thing. It's kind of like a family heirloom, I would say, but she actually has a knight, a full-size knight.
Wow. Like
with
knight
the
in
armor and all that kind of stuff. It's not like official stuff, but it's kind of a, whatever. It's piecemeal together. And I want to put it on the top of the stairs during the night when Phoenix is sleeping. And so when he comes out, he has like a 6-foot tall knight looking at him right on the top of the stairs, just freaking him right out.
He shouldn't have been standing there.
Is Beth going to be upset when he punches it and puts a big dent in it? And then you have to bring him to the hospital to get his hand looked at?
No, it's not that heavy duty of a thing, but I give Beth a lot of grief about it, but it's pretty badass. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty good.
Is the house a lot bigger or around the same size as your previous residence?
No, it's a lot smaller. We've had to do what we call, like
downsizing.
Purging.
No, but that's great though. Honestly, like
It really is.
getting rid of things you don't need.
The worst part about it is like Beth is on this side and she comes into the room. She's like, "You need to get rid of X, Y, and Z," and I'm like, "Well, you got to get rid of 1, 2, and 3." And so we're sitting there. We got this battle going on.
Yeah.
And both of us are like quietly like, I got rid of 6 boxes today.
Right.
Oh, I got rid of 3.
Meanwhile, Beth's like,
What a lot of promise. They brought their fucking toys with them.
right, I need that. What do you need that for? And if anybody's if listeners, you've ever moved and you're married and you're like, I moved in with my wife. And so she had a house full of stuff. I had a house full of stuff. We both had to get rid of things. And we are to this day still choking each other out over, you have 80 pairs of Nikes. My wife has 80 pairs of workout Nikes. I don't even understand.
I do have to ask you because that move, I am sitting here with the move that I just did with Beth, and I am contemplating getting a 10-yard dumper.
Yeah.
Did you do that?
Well, because I work in construction, I was taking stuff to work and dumping it.
Yeah.
But you know what I ended up doing was buying a full-blown 24-foot trailer as like a storage unit, and I use it for when I need a trailer, and it also houses a bunch of my stuff. So like I put a bunch of stuff in there that like my Harley in the winter and my bicycles, and like it acts more as a storage unit because now I own it if I need it, and for what I would pay a year for storage, it was actually an investment. So
cool.
You should do that for your boat for this winter.
You need a big trailer.
Yes.
Other than that, that's about all I had going on this weekend. I trying to get settled in, and so other than that,
Sounds good. I'm just recovering from the weekend. Little
you look like hell.
jet lag. Yeah.
You do look like shit.
Came back to a whole firestorm of crap at the office. So
this I heard.
That's all I got.
You work at home. so Danelle mad at you?
No, not this office.
Yeah.
No, we're all good.
I got to hear about your debacle today.
Yeah, not fun.
From an outside source.
That's all I got.
I kind of laughed.
That's all I got. Maybe I'll chime in a little bit when we catch up on the Vegas trip
I didn't
down
realize
the
I
road.
had 2 Chris's with me tonight.
Right. It's typical. They
Yep,
do
not a whole lot.
Jay?
I had a hockey-free weekend with the boys, so both of the boys had a week off. So Dalen had last week off, and Justin had a game. Then this week they both have off, and then next week Justin has off, and Dalen has a game. So this was the weekend where they overlapped. So we gave the kids away to the grandparents. They never get to see them. There's just not enough time. And so they were super stoked. We got rid of every kid. So the 2 boys and the baby. This, mind you, being our first real night without the baby in over a year. So
wow.
It was date night. We went downtown.
When you say date night, are you saying that you both actually legitimately probably fell asleep at 9 o'clock?
Bro.
That's my kind of date night.
Bro, seriously. Hear this. So
there was no sleeping that night.
So,
yeah, game over, going to bed.
So we dropped the kids off. And I had to go get my hunting spot ready. Obviously, opener's coming up on Monday, so I had to go get my hunting spot ready, which is right up in the neighborhood of where the in-laws live. Dropped the kids off. We were there for a little bit hanging out, but Grandpa was like, get the F out of here. Like, A, I want to hang out with the grandkids without you guys, and B, go have fun. So we jetted. We went right from there, which is in Cedar area, to straight downtown. she requested that I take her to the place of where she knew she like loved me or fell in love with me, however.
Aw.
Right. Which was a little.
The now defunct TGI Fridays.
Yeah.
I missed that place.
Oh, it was at. We went to Atwater.
We just take all the steam away from him, Chris.
No, that's okay.
He's on a roll.
It's on the same road. So we went to Atwater Bar and Grill because that's where apparently she knew she fell in love with me, which is fine. Super cool. So then she wanted to do a carriage ride.
It's whatever.
She wanted to do a carriage ride. And I'm like, well, we could walk to Founders, and blah, 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 blah. So I was kind of nervous about being downtown because the last time I was downtown on that side of town, I got jumped. So
You got jumped?
I did. So I'm packing and I don't even care where we're going. I'm just like, I'm not having my piece with me. So we were like walking. She decided she didn't want to do the carriage ride by the time we got there. So I'm like, cool, let's just go to Tin Can. We can pop into Founders. And we're all like, yeah, Tin Can's like totally our scene. Like,
I like
Right.
Tin
Oh, no.
Can.
right.
Nope.
Yeah. So we're
Right.
Screw you
Well,
guys.
yeah,
I like the
no,
Tin
no,
Can.
no.
You like the
Oh,
miners,
I like
Brian,
the 10
so-
can.
No, yeah, the
Tin
Tin
Can
Can
as
is
well,
great
but-
on like a Wednesday.
We're old. like
Yeah.
you.
No. The Tin Can's cool on a Wednesday when nobody's there.
You saying I shouldn't have had fun there. I should have went someplace else.
Well, you don't have youngsters, I should
Martha's
say.
Vineyard.
Yes.
We're walking, and I tell the wife, I said, listen, I got my gun on me. If anything's to happen where you feel threatened, I already, like, this is who I am, right? Like, I already have a plan. You get behind me, I'm going to do this. When I gesture this way, you take off running. I shoot everyone, and they die. So,
Okay,
mind you,
Kyle Rittenhouse.
we
Mortal
I know. I feel a
Kombat.
segue coming on here.
Right.
I do. I feel it.
So we're walking, and this guy comes up on my left-hand side out of nowhere, and he's like kind of talking under his breath where I can barely hear him, but essentially it comes out that he's asking for money. And I'm like, hey, man, me and the wife were just talking about this. Who the hell carries cash these days? And if I do, like, I need that for, like, a taxi or a quick tip. So I'm like, and I look over, and if this guy is in need of money, I'll give you some money. I always have a little bit of cash on me. But this dude was wearing nice clothes. He was well-dressed. He was just bumming for money. So I look at him, and I'm like, sorry, man, we don't carry cash, blah, blah, blah. He's like, well, we could go to the ATM. And I looked
love
at him.
that.
Oh, right. So I look at him, I go, so I can go to the ATM and spend $3 just to give you $5 and waste time going there. I go, you must be crazy. I am not going to the ATM. So this whole time, I got my hand on my gun, which is in my pocket because I carried it. It's a little guy, so I carried it in my pocket when I'm walking. And instead of the wife giving me like room to move, she is so clinched onto my arm that I couldn't even have shot my firearm if I had to, let alone pull it out and point it at somebody. So this whole thing passes. The guy gets behind us. He ends up like walking weird, and I'm like kind of now my heart's racing a little bit because I wasn't very nice to him after he was kind of rude to me, and I'm like, is he gonna whack me in the back? We were kind of like not a lot of people around us at the moment. So we get past, and I'm like, honey, what in the are you doing? Like, when that happens, you got to give me my arm. You can't be like gripping it so tight that I can't move it.
You know, I want to jump in here a little bit because, like, kind of I don't want to say similar situation. I didn't feel like it was escalated to that level, but like Beth also doesn't know how to read a situation.
Read the situation.
You know, and I was sitting there, you know, we were up at Mill Creek.
Yes, I was with you.
Yes, you were with me. And there was a guy that was kind of being abrasive and weird and awkward, if you remember that.
He was under the influence heavily of some sort of alcohol and awfully
Yes.
friendly and a little touchy.
And
Got
so
a little handsy with us.
I sat there and I look at Beth and I go, get in a corner. I'm not here to negotiate.
Right.
I'm here to direct now. All right.
Yep.
And she's like, why you gotta be that way? Why? I'm like, no, because now you know what? I don't need two problems to worry about. I only need one.
Yep.
And I want to keep the one problem in front of me.
In front of you.
You know,
That's exactly what I told the wife. I said, if we get encountered, someone's going to come from the front, someone's going to come from the back. I will turn, create a scene so that move both of them to the front of me, giving you a lane to run behind me. Like, that's, you know what I mean? But that's,
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you got to be prepared because you will die if you panic or do not know what to do in the situation.
You know, on that same note, you know, during the rest of the night there, I was with Stephan at the bar, and I literally placed myself next to him. Did I not?
Yeah.
I put myself right next to the person that I thought was going to be the perpetrator. Let me be the first line of defense. Whether I live or die or fail or whatever the case may be, I'm buying time. And if you've done CPL or done martial arts, that martial arts is more of my thing. That there has to be a first line of defense. I did not trust this guy. I'm going to create space for the others. I will take the blunt of this because this guy is not going to go anywhere.
No, dude, it's okay. So here, I'm going to show you guys. Since we have video, this is a whole new.
We don't want to see it.
This is a whole new spectrum. Hold on, with the
leave
video,
your shirt on.
I'm going to leave my shirt on, but hold up, we got video on here, so I'm going to show you.
You got to do it right behind Stephan. That's the weird part.
So I didn't have to crawl across the floor to get beer.
No, you most certainly did not.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to crawl.
I really hope my head didn't
This is the first time we've ever done this.
Just walk right in front of the camera.
Just so the listeners can kind of get an idea. So here's the vest I'm wearing when I'm out. This is the vest I wore. Okay. So I didn't just go as far to tell my wife, like, hey, if this happens, I have the gun in this pocket, which it fits perfectly. You can't see it. I put my wallet in my chest pocket so that if someone were going to try to rob us, I could go like this and say, okay, I could pull my hand out of my pocket, go like this, open it up, and tell them to take it out as I bang, bang.
And here I was, just a blast.
Seriously. And seriously, though, that's how far I go.
Bond.
When you get jumped downtown and you don't have your knife, you don't have your gun, for some reason you're wearing freaking gym shorts, the one time that you get jumped downtown, you seriously take a lot of precautions the next time you go into that area.
You were wearing gym shorts on date night?
No, so
the time I got bold move, Kyle.
The time I got jumped, I was wearing
how it works out.
I was wearing gym shorts. But
I think we need to move on to something else.
Yeah.
I do want you to make a note of that because I do want to hear about the story that you've been jumped.
Well, we will talk about that another, yes.
Absolutely.
But so long story short, we walk to Tin Can, we go in, we're all excited to be there because, that's our scene, except like Stephan said a few minutes ago, on a Saturday night, not really our scene. There's people, and they're all young people. They're all grinding and playing the games they play. Some chick walked in, I kid you not, with a thong on and nothing else. A thong and a shaw. Her entire lower half was hanging out. I couldn't believe it. I was like, where was that when I, was able to run around and snack that stuff? But anyway, and did you guys know you can carry your drinks around downtown now?
Yeah, that's about the only positive thing of COVID.
Whoa.
Yeah, you can carry your beers around
Is this
downtown.
another topic?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, we need to cover this. I don't like going downtown.
But if you do,
I don't. It's just I don't enjoy it. Like you
it's
said,
too much. The
I'm
people,
old. I'm getting old.
Yeah. It wasn't that enjoyable.
But like if I could sit there on the sidewalk or walk around and check things out and have a cocktail with Beth, that would be awesome.
So that's what we did. We said, screw it. We watched. I didn't know you could do this, but some dude was trying to sneak his beer out, and the bouncer was like, "Give me that," and he's like, "Oh," and he poured it in a cup, and he's like, "Here you go." So I'm like, wait a minute, you can do that? Well, we bought the big deucers, right?
Yeah,
we still had
half of it.
We still had, yeah. So we filled our cups up, and we walked to the new movie theater, and they have like a huge like fake green grass area with a bunch of fire pits. So we just went and stood by the fire pit. There was like 10 people hanging around it. We were talking, hanging out, drinking our beers, and then walked back to the car and went home. Oh no, we did stop at Ruth Chris, the bar inside of the hotel at Ruth Chris.
Yeah.
We stopped in there. We had a gift card someone got us when we got married, so I got the missus a couple drinks. At that point, I was trying to sober up because I was driving, so I let her have a couple sexy cocktails, which they gave us to go. Another one.
How about that?
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they pour them in a cup. It's got a label on it. It says something like something about a drink, and you're good to go. So just in case anybody doesn't know how downtown works now, you can take your booze with you from bar to bar. You might not be able to go into the bar with it, but you can walk from bar to bar.
Yeah.
So pretty cool. But
other
than that,
only thing that I wanted to know, Jay, is what fancy ATM do you go to that gives out $5 bills?
Yeah, so seriously.
That guy was going for $20.
Yeah.
Well, that's why the ATM's a cool thing, because you're like, well, I got to get a 20, but I would have not given you the 20. I would have been like, oh, here's this $2 in my pocket. Now I got a 20. Thank you.
It's going to have to make change.
Yeah, so honestly, boys, and then again, me and the missus were at home in bed by 10 o'clock on date night. But it was awesome. We had a good time, and it was great. So that's the weekend. So I think that wraps up the what's what, you guys. So
Ladies and gentlemen,
that's not the one I wanted.
Nope. I wanted the buzzer, Jay.
Yep, sorry. I'm going to give it to you.
We'd like to thank our sponsor, Pirani's Hockey World, the play store for the hockey player.
All right. Well,
Cue conspiracy music, please.
So you listen, you guys. New at
I
the
need big flashcards.
We're new on the job.
He was looking down.
No,
Yeah, I
it's,
know.
it's a lot going on, you guys. I'm sorry.
I got you.
I know. That's
We can edit that in post.
Well, what's going to end up happening is I'm going to put all the stuff we use on one board so that I don't have to keep bouncing around from board to board because it only gives me 8 options at once.
Cool story.
Hey, okay, so let's
I
start
almost
all
took
over.
my pants
let's
off
start
for that
over.
one.
Wow, hot.
So, as mentioned earlier, with an allusion to the young Mr. Kyle Rittenhouse, who is currently on trial in Kenosha, Wisconsin for, I believe, murder and attempted
counts.
murder, right?
Yeah,
Two counts for the two people that passed
two counts
away.
of murder and 1 attempted, and there's multiple other things that are associated with it, with carrying and blah,
Not
blah,
curfew,
blah.
though. I learned
Well,
that today
not,
watching the
not
trial.
exactly with Kyle Rittenhouse either because the guy that got shot was the guy who was carrying with an
That's different, though.
That's different,
Yeah,
Jay.
yeah.
So,
Let him do his conspiracy thing.
well, I guess the conspiracy theory is that he's actually on trial for murder and attempted murder. So it seems like as this trial's been going on, things just have not really been good. Stephan, you thought you had a bad day today. Try being those prosecutors. So there's been multiple things over the last couple of weeks that, have changed the narrative, I guess, around what has been kind of reported out there for what had happened that, last year, I believe it was August, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There were riots in, August of pretty much everywhere across the U.S. and stuff. But over in Wisconsin,
Kenosha.
yep, Kyle went up from Illinois and stuff. And
Well, not to cut you off, but there was forgive me for not having the stuff in front of me to pull up the names and stuff. There was a recent shooting, so there was an anticipation of an intense kind of.
that's right, within the city and stuff,
within
right?
the city of Kenosha. It was going to intensify. They felt.
Yeah, but was it now just questioning because I saw something? Wasn't that a cop related issue?
Yes,
Yes,
it was a
that's
cop
what I'm
shot
saying.
a
It was-
civilian.
Yes. Okay.
So yeah, there were some riots and stuff. Again, last summer on all that. Kyle was out there, and according to the narrative, he just went around and started shooting people to protect some random business and stuff.
It's like a gas station or a car lot.
Car lot.
Car lot.
Car lot.
Which was true because I was watching it as it was kind of unfolding. Because you throw an underage kid, kills 2 people. That
Yeah.
it kind of catches your attention a little bit. And you're absolutely right that the narrative that was presented in front of a lot of us was, this kid went rogue. He had,
Vigilante,
Yeah.
just
Wild
wild
video-
west of Wisconsin.
But the video
I
was.
do have something I want to say to the end, at the end of all of this. But, you know what? The way it looked, and at first, it was like, you know what? This doesn't look good for the kid if you actually watch the news.
Well, and speaking of looking good, apparently the FBI lost the original video footage, which was in high definition, and the only thing that they had for the trial was a edited low quality video. I don't know how the FBI loses.
How does
the
this
original.
shit get lost?
Exactly.
Oh, it doesn't just get lost.
Kind of like they can't find the January 6 bombers, but
Or Jimmy Hoffa.
or Jimmy Hoffa, right? So that
You
was
guys don't even know who Jimmy Hoffa is.
that was
Beg the
before our
difference.
time.
He was buried under the old
We don't know where he
rink,
is.
the old Red Wings rink, which was called Joe Louis. That's what they assumed because the Joe was being built at the time that he was buried. They assumed he's in the concrete.
I don't know if it was the Joe. I think it was
Wasn't it the Joe?
It doesn't
thought it was in
matter.
Chicago.
Not Olympia.
You guys need some Adderall. Let's
I thought it
focus
was.
on.
Yeah, let's
I thought
focus
it
on what
was-
it is.
I thought it was the
Inner
Joe.
monologue, zipper, nipper.
I could be wrong.
Carry on.
So
I'm probably
that's
wrong.
one of the things was the FBI footage that just didn't seem to help them. It kind of looked bad on their part.
And once again, I want to interrupt you there. What do you mean, FBI footage? Why would there be FBI footage for?
I think the film that they had in custody, they didn't have the originals like they originally had or something
It was
like
just
that.
interesting.
so-
This whole thing was being filmed,
Oh yeah, definitely.
which
because
is another kind of added twist, if you will, to the whole thing.
Well, the conspiracy, right?
Kind of like January 6th. There was a lot of news people there. Speaking of news people, one of the things that didn't go well for the prosecution was the photographer was asked who had gotten some of the photos of, the altercation, like, pretty much live action of, Kyle on the ground shooting or of the shooting and stuff. And apparently the prosecution had asked him to change his testimony. I had heard about this a couple weeks ago, but then during the trial, it was asked, if there was anything else, and he threw the gauntlet down on the prosecutor that, you asked me to change my testimony, and I wasn't going to do that.
Yeah, he actually said in court that he sought out his own attorney to protect himself because of this. So it looks dirty. It looks real dirty from the prosecution side.
Well, and not only on that, one of the gentlemen that
Gage?
the attended murder charge, the guy who got his arm blown
Gage.
off. Yeah. What was that, yesterday or
that was
2 days ago or something?
That was a shit show.
He was on the stand and stuff, and I'm assuming it was during cross-examination, but they asked him, and basically he admitted that he was standing over Kyle, had pulled his gun out first, which was a handgun, a Glock, I believe.
Yep.
Yes.
And was pointing at him.
Which was the unregistered. He had no longer, the concealed permit had elapsed.
I watched that part of it like you're talking about. And to watch like the prosecution ask him questions. So let me get this right. You chased him for 2 blocks. That's kind of aggressive.
Yeah.
Wait, you didn't, you took your gun out. He didn't shoot you till you actually pointed it at him at 3 feet away. Yep.
I was down and stuff.
He was down on the ground.
Right.
It's just like,
I will say,
Bless you.
based on watching,
Excuse me.
based on watching that cross-examination that I did today, I really don't think that he intended on physically, like, I don't think he intended on murdering Kyle Rittenhouse. I think he had the gun out.
Stop. I'm going to cut you off right now.
He was trying to
Stop right there.
terrorize.
Exactly.
What did you, I was going to say, what did you just say about you going downtown?
Well, yeah.
I mean,
so
if you were Kyle, you would have been, you were already put yourself in place.
well, that's
of
where I get
thinking,
back.
Yeah.
I went downtown with a gun. Had I shot in somebody, and now I'm in this situation, the first thing is you don't bring a gun unless you plan on shooting somebody. But do you plan on shooting somebody if you're provoked, and then do you create the provocation?
I think this was a little different, though.
This was a different scenario.
Because
It's a little bit different
he
than
went on
mine.
stand today, and actually I was very surprised by that. I hadn't watched a lot of the trial, but I turned it on this afternoon when I saw the news flash that he was testifying. I was like, holy crap.
I did not get a chance to see that
I
part
didn't
of it
think
today
he would
yet.
actually testify.
No.
That was today.
Yes, that was
I
this
saw
afternoon.
That. Yep. It was 2 hours long, that segment.
I didn't watch the whole thing. But from what I caught and stuff, they played it up. He seems like an affable, nice young man, and everything.
Which the whole time he has seemed very...
He went down there to actually like clean the city after the first night of
right,
things,
and he was down there to help out. And
Didn't he
EMT
also bring
work
his
and
medical
stuff.
kit? Wasn't
Yeah,
he like
he
because
had
he's
some
like
stuff to help
he's
out
some
with-
kind of
He works at
CPR guy?
like a pool or something like that.
Yeah, the YMCA.
Yeah, he
YMCA.
has a like a CPR
Yep.
license.
And apparently throughout the course of the night, or earlier in the night, he had helped out and stuff in the.
Yeah, he helped. He patched somebody up that got hurt. I remember that.
So and I don't. Again, like you said, you don't bring a gun unless you intend to use it.
Unless you intend to use it.
Well,
But he also had.
I'm gonna stop you there because that's another thing. I know this conversation can go all night long. If I have my gun on me, I don't plan to use it. I'll be honest.
I don't
No,
intend
you
to use
bring-
it. I don't want
intend
to.
Not that you
use
plan
it.
to. You bring it.
I bring
so
it for
you
sideways.
You bring it so you can use
When
it.
things go sideways, I
Right.
know that I have an option. I guess that's the best way of putting it.
a shield. You have a shield.
Will it be my first thing that I go to? Unfortunately, I don't think it would be.
No, I
You
think,
know?
and based on the video and based on the dude's testimony, KG said, I don't really think he was intending on shooting him. I think he was. There's a word for brandishing.
Well, he certainly brandished. Yeah.
So he was brandishing and got shot for it. Unfortunately, now the other
He's
guy
lucky he's alive.
who had hit him in the head with the skateboard, who ended up dead. you attack somebody with listen, that's an assault skateboard. I'm just going to say that right now. He assaulted him with it. It was an assault skateboard, and he got shot with an assault rifle.
I wish I could argue with you.
You can't
but
on
as
that one.
soon as that kid wheeled that skateboard back,
Dude, that'll kill
and
somebody.
took a swing at somebody, dude, you know, my dad used to talk about a term called bottle drunk. It's when that guy hits you in the back of the head when you're not paying attention.
With a bottle.
Now you're a mutant for the rest of your life.
Yep.
And
So
that could happen with a skateboard.
Somebody says this on Facebook all the time, according to these things, and it's don't play stupid games if you don't want stupid prizes.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, but again, you take a kid with a gun. Now, had he not had a gun, could everyone still be alive, and even Kyle himself be alive? I think absolutely. I think
Kyle is alive, but
everyone, including him. Like, had he not had the gun, I don't think they would have killed him. I think he might have gotten beaten up, but I don't think he would have ended up dead. So then, did Kyle have to kill the guy with the skateboard if he had not had the gun?
Okay. So
actions have consequences.
Yeah.
Again,
Okay.
On both accounts.
stupid games, stupid
so
prizes.
This is probably where either people get upset with Brent for the way he thinks.
But that's why you're
or
on the
not.
show, because
Yeah.
you don't give a fuck.
I'm gonna sit here and tell you right now that if somebody's chasing me with a skateboard, that son of a bitch has the same choice that I do.
Bro.
He could walk away just as fast as I could pull it out.
Downtown, if someone was chasing me and I went with a skateboard, I probably would have shot him in the leg.
What?
But yes, I probably would have pulled the gun out and attempted to at least have shot a warning round. But
Nope.
But yes, I would have pulled my gun out.
I actually blame the police on this because they never should have let the situation get out of hand like that and have days and days of rioting.
So then
to
let's
allow
just
people to
let's
go
just
through and
blame the Democrats and Biden and
No,
I'm just
this
kidding.
wasn't that.
No,
I'm
no,
just
it's-
joking.
I hear what you're saying, and I feel there's a lot of people that, whether you agree or disagree with everything that happened last summer, I know from my standpoint, I know it might not be very popular, that I was bothered by the fact of last summer. Last summer changed me. I don't like the fact that the police officers were handcuffed themselves because of a few bad apples that made poor choices. That's not the majority. And the majority got punished for a few bad people. And there always will be a few bad people, whether you're in the military, whether you go to work on Monday, you got an asshole at work.
That's
You
how
got
democracy.
a shitty boss. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. There's always going to be somebody bad there.
And that's a democracy, right? It only
is.
takes a couple people to ruin it for everybody. I want to.
Great.
I just want to get this. Yes, we all have points and views and opinions. However, some poor guy. Now, in the sense of a case, you have to paint a really shitty light on him. So yes, there were some things about him being involved in robberies and yada yada. But you know what? Fact of the matter is, somebody lost their life who may or may not have had to lose their life, regardless of their actions. It's sad regardless. But now you have to sit and dissect absolutely everything. You have to paint a terrible light on the guy that got shot so that the guy who shot him can go on, or you paint a terrible light on the guy who shot him so that the guy who got shot can be what's the word I'm looking for? Exonerated, or justice can be served. I don't know how you want to say it. It's a terrible situation to have to go through and be in, and it's sad regardless. I don't find pleasure in seeing Kyle win, but I do because I don't think that kid deserves to go to prison for the rest of his life. And I'm just saying
one thing to kind of wrap this up here that I want to get at is the judge in the case is kind of badass. He is not taking any BS on this, and he is just laying it down and keeping everybody in check on it. So
Good to hear.
A little quick on the buzzer there, but
I think that's what it was. That was I was supposed to play it.
Oh yeah, but
no,
I didn't realize.
you can't say something like that.
You can't triple stamp a double stamp.
Yeah,
right?
that was a triple stamp, double stamp. Chris said what he said. I ended it. Triple stamp on the
You can't
double.
triple stamp.
I like the way the judges handled this overall.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to sit there it's clear that he is already leaning one way with the other things that have happened, saying that everybody that was either shot or killed could not be called a victim. They had to be called an arsonist or a rider or a looter. And
then today his phone ringer went off, and it said it was the "Proud to Be an American" song.
Yes.
Proud to be an American. Dun, dun,
I
dun,
think for the most part, I think all of us want, quote unquote, justice served. Because if we are in that same situation, would we not want the same thing? And I think, unfortunately, and this is
I want to be railroaded.
A very big opinion, though, that I think last year, with everything that went on, this is the part that skewed me. How often did you see any of those guys persecuted for the things that they did? Whether it was trashing, loitering, looting, rioting, burning, arson, all this stuff. And it was just a clean slate. And then all of a sudden I go out and I get a speeding ticket. I'm not going to lie to you. Go fuck yourself. Seriously, that's just bullshit. If you're going to allow A, then you better turn a blind eye to B, or you nail it all.
Well, I won't agree with you on the persecution of the people. I'd like to see them prosecuted, but
Well, you know what I mean. Go through the process.
persecution. What is
Luckily,
this? World
actually,
War
Grand
II all
Rap-
over again?
Grand Rapids actually had a fair amount of people that they brought in for the destruction and stuff that was caused in the city.
I did see that. Grand Rapids, I thought, overall did pretty well surviving it.
Other than what
that's
even
no
happened.
joke.
Yep, that's what I mean, surviving it.
Well, they survived it because they set it up. Somebody.
am
Did you hear
not-
about that whole okay,
No,
hold on. Hear me
yeah.
I
out.
survived it because I stayed home with my guns.
I did not.
Hey,
You can't drop that
I
apple
watched
on
it on
me.
Facebook
I'm
Live.
gonna. So this is a perfect time for this. So did you guys hear when all the rioting stuff was going on in Grand Rapids, how there was just pallets of bricks sitting on the side of the road for no reason?
I did not hear that in Grand Rapids.
I heard it around pretty much every other major city,
Right,
though,
yes.
but I wouldn't be surprised.
They were
also,
in
also
alleyways.
Grand Rapids. So there was just pallets of bricks laying around for what reason? People to
fix
throw.
Monroe.
Construction. Come on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because we have cobblestone freaking roads still.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I guess you do. You kind of live. You live close to a cobblestone road, don't you? Oh no, that's going to the rink off College. Never mind.
There is a little section by me, but
Yeah.
anyways, I was too far out from downtown. Nobody's going to walk a mile and a half out.
Last year changed a lot of us, and hopefully it makes progress towards to better things to come.
The world is never going to be what it once was.
It's frustrating.
Because of this COVID situation. I mean, it opened a door to a lot of stay-at-home jobs. That alone is going to change the way society functions as a whole. We just haven't seen the tail end of it yet, or the evolution of it. Yes, I could say so. There's a lot of things that are coming. You know what I really am happy for, though? There is and I say this, there is a lot of people, because of everything that happened, that are now less judgmental, less racist. Just in the eyes of the fact that all of this stuff and a lot of persecutions that people are seeing have come to light for a lot of people who never noticed it. Granted, those who are
It's
true.
prosecution.
No, the persecution.
No, there's a difference.
No, I'm saying the persecution of black people, right? That is the word I would be using, right?
Yeah,
No,
the
that's
persecution.
Actually, that's what you
Right.
used
That's the
correctly.
way
You're
I'm using
fine.
it correctly.
Yeah.
So there has been a lot of persecution, and with some things that have happened, I think it has maybe drawn. I've seen on Facebook a ton of people who used to carry the flag, the Southern flag, with
The Confederate flag.
Confederate flag, who were like, you know what? I'm throwing this away and burning it because I never really understood how it made my black friend feel. And now I know how it made my black friend feel. And that's not really what I stand for. So in a sense, I say there's a lot of light that has been shed in those areas as well that will alter the future of our future, I guess, our lives, but
Existence.
mostly our kids' future, I really believe that. I really believe that it's some changes for the worse, but a lot of changes for the best.
I'm gonna give Chris the mic so we can move on to the next segment. But I definitely want to go back to this in time. I don't want to see history lost.
But also repeat itself.
Yeah,
Right.
Actually, the way things are marching now, history is repeating itself
well,
to
It
a
is.
full-on totalitarian government.
We might
but
see another
that's another
freaking
thing,
civil
too.
war. And I think we'll see a civil war.
On
I don't think
something,
we'll
though,
see a civil war. I don't see that.
did not really change seemed to be Vegas. That place had their doors wide freaking open. We were elbow to elbow.
Wait a
nuts
minute,
to butts
stop!
with
You went
lots
too
and lots
fast
of
on
people.
that. You went too fast on that. So you and Stephan went to Vegas.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
you
Well,
with
yeah,
your
that-
wife,
that
and
is
then
true.
also with listener Rick and listener Linda and myself.
Is
Uh,
Linda a
I got to
listener,
be
or do you
fifth-
just call her Listener Linda?
No, she listens occasionally.
Really? Just because Rick does, or because she supports us?
Probably
because she supports us.
Aw, I like Linda now.
Well, all
Linda,
right then.
Linda, I've always liked you. That was a joke.
She's
but
not listening
thank
to
you.
this episode.
What am I doing here?
She's going to get 2 seconds into the Kyle Rittenhouse talk and shut off.
She's gonna
Yeah.
get mad.
Tell us, boys.
This podcast
how was
is
Vegas?
stupid.
How was Vegas?
I'll let you go ahead on that.
Go-
But before we get into that part, though, I just wanted to say that I have not been around a room full of masked people in quite a while, so I forgot what that was like, being in the airport and on the airplane,
Okay.
and just all the disgusting things that people do in their masks. Saw somebody sneeze several times into the mask. Somebody was, sniffling in their mask.
I mean, all of these things are the reason, what the mask is for.
Yeah.
But what
Yeah,
do you,
but
what
I
do you want
don't-
me to do? Take my mask off to sneeze? I mean, that kind of
Well,
defeats
yeah,
the
I kinda
purpose.
wait for that
So,
sign.
It kind of defeats the purpose a bit.
I was always petrified, though, when I had to wear mine and I was at the store and I'd take it down to sneeze because I, pinch my nose so that I didn't have gunk all over in my mask and stuff. So I don't know. It was
You
just,
know, you can shut your nose off on a sneeze and sneeze out your mouth.
that's what I did. But I don't know. It was just very weird. And then to see it, it just reminded me why gross.
I wish we
It
had
was just very
animations. I'd put a
unsanitary.
question mark over my head right now. Because sneezing into a mask would be the principle of wearing the mask. Because if you take it down and sneeze, you just
You just why bother wearing
Yeah,
a
but
mask
this was
at
a
all?
cloth mask and it wasn't changed. So
Real quick, guys. Is this a new rule where if your bucket comes off on the ice, you
yes,
gotta get
it
off?
is. Anyways, let's
Is
get
that
back
this
to-
year?
Yes.
Okay, I just noticed he just jumped right off the ice. He didn't continue playing. That was weird.
Well, for our listeners, Jay's watching the
Well,
Philly Toronto game.
I'm facing that way.
Stay on topic, please.
Stay on topic.
Hey, that's what I got these buttons for, boys. So, Chris, continue.
But that was all I wanted to say about the mask. It was just, I guess a throwback again to last year or early this year with being surrounded by.
What was it like on the
maskless-
plane? I guess was like, did they? Because I have not flown since. So you're gonna probably laugh at me. 2007. What was the plane like? Did everybody while you're in transit? Did everybody have to leave a mask on?
Oh, yeah.
You have to have your mask on from the moment you enter the airport till the time you exit the airport
no,
when you
really.
land at your destination.
So how do you drink your drink and eat your?
You're
you can
allowed
pull
to
it down.
pull your
Wait,
mask
whoa,
down
whoa,
to
as
eat
long
and
as you're
drink.
sitting. Is that too much? I don't know.
You can be
can't.
you
I
can be
can't even.
standing and drinking in the airport and
So-
pull your mask down and take a drink.
Really?
You can have your mask off if you're dining at if you're sitting at the bar drinking or eating in a restaurant in the airport.
But not on the plane. And to flying, I'd flown earlier this year down to Florida, and they still gave out a little water bottle. We flew a different airline this time, a more budget conscious one, where they charge you for everything. I had to pay for my carry-on, all of that. And the people that are on this airplane, good, wholesome Midwest folks like all of ourselves.
It was a
definitely-
direct flight from Grand Rapids to Vegas,
Yes.
so everybody generally, I'd say, was from Grand Rapids
Yes.
going there.
Packed their own snacks. I saw full cans of Pringles. The lady next to me had brought a little cooler, king size Twix candy bars. Like, these people knew what was up, and they did not want to pay the $3 for the box of M&Ms on that
Okay.
airline.
And yeah.
So it was
I think that's fair.
between all the different chip
What
smells
were,
and everything.
What were the? I'm gonna screw up on the terms. Don't prosecute me. I'm old. What the stewardesses do, or flight attendants?
They prefer to be
or-
called flight attendants or flight
I'm
staff.
sorry, I just.
But if you're back in the 1960s, like you are, yeah,
Be a stewardess then.
yeah.
just teasing.
They did one pass, and it was the one and only time that you could buy
High-flying
stuff,
secretary.
Right.
which took about maybe the first hour of the flight, and then after that, they just walked up and down the aisle with a little trash bag
Yeah.
for the next 2.5 hours after
Were
that.
they clearly they had their stuff on, their masks and stuff like that.
Mhm. When they
But,
were
like-
serving, they
but,
had.
like, did anybody
gloves.
get caught taking their mask down? Did they rush out?
Person
No.
next to me was asked to put it on, and he kind of gruffed because he had a drink in his hand or on his
Okay,
table
yeah,
or
that's
something.
kind of what I was
but
wondering. Like, what was the behavior like?
nobody made it onto a viral Facebook or TikTok video from our flight.
Yeah,
so that was good.
everybody was calm. And when we went to Florida last
Damn
year,
it.
it was the same
You
thing.
guys kind of disappoint me.
Yeah, there was
actually.
nothing exciting on the
You
plane
want
that
this to go
happened.
viral? You do stupid shit, boys.
I think on the way home, we were all too tired to do any stupid shit.
I just didn't want to ruffle any feathers after
So you guys
3
are-
nights and 4 days with these folks.
you guys get to Vegas. You guys are enjoying your time, and you're there for
We were there for 3 nights.
just said that.
and-
no. You're there for your
Oh, the reason? Well, we're there to go to Vegas, right? First off, but while we were there, this was planned, but we were renewing our vows at a cheesy Elvis chapel.
Just you and your wife.
Well, Chris and Linda and Rick
No.
stood up with
They
us.
went, but you guys, this
We
was
got-
all because you guys wanted to renew your vows.
We got married. Yeah, the
And so
trip
you
was,
planned
and then
a
we
trip
invited
around that.
anybody that wanted to go with us.
Oh wait, I was invited.
I wasn't invited.
Yeah.
I had no idea I was invited.
I invited both of you guys.
I didn't know there was. I thought it was like a hey, I'm going.
I declined.
Yeah. Well, then I said we're going, and anybody that wants to join us is welcome to join us.
Son of a gun.
And we mentioned this months ahead of time to you guys, and
We had date night that same weekend. Me and the wife totally could have went.
could have joined us. Yeah.
I will openly admit I didn't want to go because I didn't think I'd make it back.
Good call.
I already told myself I would never go to Vegas unless I had
I've never been
$10,000 to lose.
Oh, damn.
So
High roller.
Well, you wouldn't need that much if you had Danelle with you, but I think we'll get to that.
yeah, carry on. So you guys get there? You get in your hotel or what's going
Yeah.
on? Fill us in on
we
your
stayed
weekend.
at the Treasure Island Hotel and Resort. And, us two couples had our respective rooms. Chris had his own. And we basically we got unpacked and set up and went out to dinner. Had a nice little dinner with the crew. And then we walked around Vegas
food
looking
was
for
awful.
cocaine and hookers.
Did Chris find any strange?
No,
No strange.
no.
In Vegas, no strange.
Neither did I.
You didn't. Wait a minute. Do not tell me that you didn't get it in.
Well,
There
you
were
didn't-
those two
you're
girls
not
on
the
the
only one
street.
that struck out. I was at home. And
There were those two girls that handcuffed you on the street.
that
you a
happened
little
one
lippy?
time.
Did they handcuff you to your wife or were they handcuffed?
No, this
to
was during the
himself.
bachelor party.
Oh.
yes, you had.
It was, yeah, so we had
Kind of.
us boys went out
had a second
one
bachelor
afternoon. During the day before the wedding. The wedding was at 6:30 Saturday night, 7:00 Saturday night. So
47 years old. I think I'm a good guy. I've never been the best man because they know that means I run the bachelor party, and they're too afraid of that shit.
well, it wasn't your traditional bachelor party per se. We basically took a bus over to the south end of the strip, and we checked out T-Mobile Arena where the Knights play.
Of you three, how many of you were wearing flip flops?
Oh, when you are in Vegas and you're walking around, you're wearing tennis shoes.
Okay,
You want to be
good, because
comfy.
it's a lot of
Lack
walking.
of syringes or
No, I mean just lots
The
of
homeless
walking.
people actually weren't too bad.
No,
It was a
not
lot
in
less than I
Vegas.
expected.
they're more entertainers. They're actually working out there,
It's
right?
too expensive
Well,
to live there.
To be honest.
Usually they're just sleeping or
The homeless
puking.
people.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
But
Yeah. But like Grand Rapids, you can walk around with beer and liquor and whatever.
You couldn't do that now, Las Vegas?
No, that's what I'm saying.
He said just like it, you
Oh,
could.
just like it.
We went to a convenience store like CVS, Walgreens, a place like that. That's basically at every corner down there. And you go get a 24-pack, bring it up to your room, load it up. We made a makeshift cooler, stuck it in my backpack, and walked around with beers and
So,
in our can koozies.
so you're down there. Did you hit the casinos at all?
Well, every hotel has a casino
Yeah.
built in. So, yeah, we did a little gambling. We went across the street to
Win,
the
lose, or
Venetian.
draw?
Danelle cleaned up. She netted $625.
And you lost
Well,
$750.
actually,
so
Actually, it was
the breakdown
$825.
was kind of funky because Chris was the only one gambling, and he was up. I kept taking his chips and putting them in my pocket and saying, "You can't gamble anymore," right? Trying to retain as much winning as possible.
Wait, hang on. So Chris, how much were you possibly up here until Stephan stole from you?
No, he was up when I stole from him, and then
wasn't I even at 100?
No,
and
you.
Then you.
When we left after that, I had 100 of your chips in my pocket. You were even.
You lost 50 of it.
Well, first off, you were up like $400.
Yeah,
and then you kept asking me for money out of the pocket.
Roulette.
And I said,
see, we're talking about this.
and I had told him, I said, all right, fine. Well, you're even right here. So then we go to a different area or a different casino, and we walk past the blackjack. I was like, well, I'd like to play blackjack eventually, but I didn't want to pay the $25 stake. I wanted to find more of like a $5 one where I could sit there and make my money go a little further.
You know what? Vegas doesn't have penny slots.
Well, Chris gives me, he goes, use one of mine. At this time, I've given him his $100 initial investment back. I'm like, well, you blew $300 that you were up. Here, fuck it. Get rid of this too while you're at it. So he sits me down. I lose. Fucking dealer gets blackjack. And then he's like, go again. So now Chris is down 50 and I'm gambling for him. And I lose. And I go, oh, I'm all right. I'm done. And then I go, all right, screw it. I throw 30 out on the table. I play one hand. I lose that. So now we go to another table with $50 to spend. Chris spends, gets up a little bit. Danelle's sitting with us, so he's giving her some chips to put down. Well, she just goes on a roll and starts winning. So we went from $50 of Chris's money to $825 of casino money in total.
Dang.
Out of $100.
Out of $130 initial investment.
I kind of lost track of what I hit because I just kind of kept giving chips to Danelle, and she would then give them to Stephan.
Every time she got up a bunch, she put it in my pocket, and I had a stack about.
So
that was the bulge picture.
Chris, you were catering this party, is what you're saying.
Basically, yes.
Okay,
more or
less.
And
It was very nice.
He was very liberal with what he wanted out of the kitty,
Yeah.
which we ended up using what cash came out of it to pay fares and dinners and things.
I got my
like
$100 back plus 100, so I doubled what I had gambled with. It was
that's
better
how
than
you
I
do,
actually did.
That is how you do that.
Yeah,
shit.
you got to do it
And honestly,
as a team.
It was all Danelle.
Well, that's how we do it when we do.
Well, it's easy to. Well, hang on, Jay. It's easy to say do it like a team when you're the big fucking loser.
Oh,
that was my wedding gift to you guys.
Right.
Or your re-anniversary gift.
Right.
Renewal.
Yeah, and
awesome.
we picked up the tab for that expensive dinner, and then the Uber ride to the chapel. This Uber ride was $130, and then dinner was $250.
How far did you go?
How long? It was probably. I mean, it was over to Fremont Street, beyond Fremont Street. But
Yeah,
Like
because
that,
it
like
took
that's
us a while
supposed to
to get
mean
there.
something to me.
I'm just
Give me a
asking
mileage.
Chris to
Probably
give.
a
I don't know
20
mileage.
minute-
I was drunk.
It was probably a 20-minute car ride with kind of stop and
it's a
go,
mile
like
and a
on the
half,
belt.
2
well,
miles?
so we're outside
There's
of
probably 2.5 miles.
we're outside of our hotel, and we're all dressed up in our suits, and the girls got their dresses on, and this Uber driver in a Cadillac Escalade asked where we were headed. We told him, and he goes, we're like, how much? He's like $120. I looked around, and it's
You
like
get a handy
we're
with that?
way in the back of the line, so to get the next taxi is gonna take us a while. So we just said screw it. We jumped in there. I gave him a $10 tip, and
I will say
I
it was
made it
very
to the
nice,
church.
though. While he was driving, he tied my tie for me.
yeah, while he was driving, he tied the tie. He connected the
That's another
Bluetooth to
topic
Linda's
we need to have.
phone.
You don't know how to tie a tie?
I do, but I was having a
He
little
was
difficulty,
struggling.
and I was very flustered because I almost missed the car ride. But, yeah.
Yeah.
No comment. Next.
Right.
Well, I was just
Nope, we're
gonna
not
say
gonna get
the,
into
the
that.
gambling teamwork. I mean, we do that every Thursday when we get food and we do Keno, right? If somebody wins big, we
Yeah.
throw it down on the pot for the food.
Yeah.
So.
I am openly honest about that. I am a total sponge on that night. I don't.
Oh,
I'm not a big
you
gambler.
Pulling a dodgy area.
I don't like to
Dodgy
gamble.
gambled, and then I had to pay for his food.
You know, gambling and me. I went to Central Michigan. Everybody knows Soaring Eagles up there. I have no problem going to the casino. I just know once I get rolling, I ain't gonna leave. So you don't even start.
So one other highlight from the trip: the following night, we went to this giant Ferris wheel ride that was called the High Roller, and it's basically, if you can imagine an old Colorado chairlift. That's all enclosed. Like, it's huge. This is big enough to
It's
put.
like a boxcar.
It's
on
a
rails.
ball.
Basically,
It's shaped like a ball, and you could fit. What do you think we had? 15, 20 people in there, plus a bartender.
Probably 20.
And there's a full
there was
bar.
that many people
So
in
you
there.
pay a premium to get the bar. They have some that are just seating, like, so you can view. You can see all of Vegas. It goes way
There's
up
a
high.
pretty sweet view, but it went by quick in that 30 minutes.
So you have about a half-hour ride round trip, and your beer, beverages, anything is all included. And at the top, they pour you a shot. Now, they have one bartender in there, and he goes, just shout out what you want. If there's anything that I'm making for someone else, add it,
Yeah,
and we'll build it and build it and
knock
build
'em
it.
out.
Very
Yep.
efficient.
And he, in
Yeah.
fact, gave us beers for the road, too. So that was pretty cool. I walked out of there with like 3 in my hand. I'm
You're
like,
like, oh my gosh, my
Yeah,
wife
yeah.
wanted like 2 Bud Lights. I wanted 2. Chris needed 4. It
I
was
did get one
weird.
of those. Thank you for that.
yeah, that was fun.
I don't know if you mentioned it, though, on the renewal. You guys' vows were renewed by Elvis.
That's right. Yep, at the Elvis
You
Chapel.
did the Elvis thing?
Yes.
It
Yes,
wasn't
it
as
was
hokey as
cheesy.
I thought it was going to be. It was definitely a little cheesy.
It's
It
gotta
was
be-
cheesy. The
it's gotta
girls,
be
It wasn't
respectful,
like
though.
over the top.
the girls dressed in like their cheesy gowns and stuff, and
What? I thought the ladies looked very nice.
So let's ask this. Was it worth
excuse
it?
me. Oh yeah,
You had a blast?
I had a blast in Vegas. I can't wait
Okay.
to go back.
That's great. You had a blast.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean shit.
Stefan almost bought a timeshare.
Did Nell have a
Oh
good
yeah,
time?
yeah. She
You know,
had a
that's-
great time.
That's the question.
I think we all had. Gosh, excuse me. I think we all had a great time.
I want to point out, you guys did your 10 year,
Yeah, we celebrated 10 years this past July.
and your wife is, if I want to say, just as beautiful, if not more beautiful than she was the day you guys got married. I
That's a
just
very
gotta
nice
point
thing
that
to
out.
say.
She is absolutely gorgeous.
She's like a fine
I was
wine.
gonna say the same.
She gets better with age.
She hasn't aged. Honestly, I don't feel like she's aged at all. She is a
You do it.
beautiful
You have a beautiful
individual.
wife. I'm afraid of her still.
Oh no, she's scary as fudge.
She's on her way home right now, and she's gonna throw us out.
Oh man.
But a beautiful woman, to say the least.
It'd be fun to go there on a boys' trip and schedule it like where you catch a hockey game or something down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a schedule? Oh.
Well,
Oh,
make it so
you
that
mean
there's a
during
home
that
game
time.
because
You guys did
Oh,
not have a
yeah.
schedule.
because
that's what you're saying.
the Knights weren't in town. We went down there with basically one thing that was the hard scheduled thing was the vow renewal. After that, we were like, hey,
And
just
before
do
that, yeah.
do whatever you want to do. We stuck together loosely. It was like if Linda and Rick wanted to go do something and nobody else was interested in it,
Have
it
fun.
wasn't like they couldn't go. And Rick and Chris and myself, all I wanted to do was go get Case in a Vegas Knights jersey. So they humored me and
So your
came
schedule
along
was
with
pretty
me.
open, really.
I was going to go by myself, but we found a cool like bar and grill, and it was the day Michigan State was playing and Notre Dame was playing. So we went there, shopped, came down, sat down, chilled out there. They had a band warming up next door to us.
I know that we're pushing an hour here, if not a
Oh,
little
yeah.
over an hour.
Gotta
of a
be, my
show.
gosh. We can
I
skip
do-
the rest.
I do have one question though. Is like, I take Beth out. I'm like, oh my gosh, tonight costs us like $65.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right?
Like, is the pricing out there outrageous compared to Grand Rapids?
I think
to
so.
be honest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not compared to 20 Monroe Live. It was like $11 a beer. But
Most
again,
places were about $8.50.
Yeah.
For a Taco Bell run now.
Well, now
I know.
I spent $30 there, but I got a drink there. So the prices weren't too out of line. on
if
that.
you went to like we went to McDonald's one day for breakfast because the day before,
I need a McGriddle. I get it.
well, the day before, put it to you this way: the night before we played, when the first night for dinner, we paid $70, and that included 2 drinks for each of us. I mean, that was mine and
Yeah.
Danelle's bill
That
together,
doesn't
right?
sound
Not
too
horrible.
off,
The
no.
food was disgusting, so it wasn't that great. And then the
Really?
next morning, we woke up and we went to this nicer breakfast place, which was great. The food was awesome, but we didn't get any alcohol, and our bill was $80. So I told Danelle and the group, like, you guys go eat where you want, but I'm gonna try to find a little more thrifty meal plans
and
so
stuff
that I could,
you want that
Yes.
franchise.
so I can make it
quality.
last.
So the reason I ask is because when Beth and I go out, I typically do something in my family that's known as called the no thank you helping.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to order something I wouldn't typically ever order. I want a new experience each time. So I'm not going to go to, 5 restaurants and get 5 cheeseburgers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take a cheeseburger this time. Well, this time I'm going to get the black and blue burger. And this time I'm going to get the
Sure.
spicy burger. I want to try something new. Have
Change
a
it
new
up a little bit.
experience every time. And so it's kind of interesting to hear you say, well, what you're saying about like, oh my gosh, this was super expensive. It tastes like garbage. And this was
Right.
more on the thrifty side.
Right.
The dollar was worth it.
Well, and I typically have, I don't really go too much out of my comfort zone with trying new things because I'm there to eat, to have a meal. If I don't like it, I'm not going to eat any more of it.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
then I'm going to have to go somewhere where I know I'm going to get the same quality or whatever, which that's where you find your comfort in, a Taco Bell or McDonald's or a Chipotle
Same
or
food
something.
every time.
You know
I-
what you're going to get across the
I
board.
totally agree with you, because there's
I
sometimes.
was just trying to save a little bit of cash.
Beth,
It's like,
what-
why spend $80 every time we need to eat? Does that make sense?
It doesn't make any sense at all. Beth and I have sat
When
there
you'll
and looked
be
at each
happier
other.
with that Taco Bell or your chicken.
I'd be
tenders.
happy
Well, you
with
know what you're gonna
a
get.
$20 meal, and then I have another $60 that I can pay for a car ride here or there that we want to go or something.
With what I just said, though, Beth and I will go out, and Beth will sit there and look at me, and she'll go, "You didn't like that, did you?" And I'm like, "Nope, didn't
Nope,
like
not
that
one
at
bit."
all." And it's like some people they don't like it, and they're like, "I want a refund." No, that was my choice.
Yeah, I would never ask for a refund, or
never
I don't send things
That's
back.
my choice.
No.
Yeah, that was my first
You know.
meal there, and only meal for the day when we arrived
Yeah, I
on
just won't
Friday.
come back.
It was not good.
What else?
Two
do
more
we have
things on
here?
Vegas here. I just wanted to say, Stephan, it was nice to stand up with Linda again and have the addition of Rick to support you and Dano on 10 years.
Thank you
It
guys
was nice
for
to be
coming.
there 10 years ago. 10, and we'll see 20.
See where
30.
we go on 20.
Yeah.
Dano wants to go to Hawaii.
Yeah, well,
Ooh, I don't know if I could do. I'm gonna have to pay for the thicker seat if there's a budget carrier that goes that far.
Definitely would like to get for first class before I die.
So
That's an expensive one. First class, you guys. Seriously,
I think it
that's
might
like
be worth it.
to
quadruple.
Vegas or to
Yeah. You didn't
Hawaii.
ride the budget airline where you were stuck like Charlie the tuna next
we
to a
had
guy
extra
falling
rows.
asleep
We
on
were
your
good.
shoulder.
I mean, I've flown to Cali a couple times.
Yeah, then you can relate.
That's a 4-hour trip.
Yeah, you probably have a little bit longer.
So the
to
And
last
I
fly.
thing-
flew to Mexico last year with Melissa, or 2 years ago with Melissa. So
the last thing on Vegas here, I just have a couple questions based on our bachelor party. This is around the Golden Knights here, and around their mascot in particular. Do you guys know his name? Question 1.
Chance.
Yes. All right. That wasn't really the question, but I thought I'd throw that out there.
I knew that.
I did not know that.
So we
Not
have a multiple
surprised.
choice here, A, B, C, or D. The Vegas Golden Knights mascot, Chance, is A, a dinosaur, B, a gecko, C, a yellow version of the thing from the Fantastic Four comics. I can't read, sorry guys. Or D, Gila monster.
Do I need to write this down, or can I say it out
No, you
loud?
can just say it.
Oh, it's D.
It's D.
What is the correct pronunciation?
It's a Gila monster, or
So he is not a gecko.
No.
no.
So you're saying
It's
no.
actually pronounced Gila monster.
Gila monster.
I
yeah.
did not. I
And
didn't write.
typically they're black, orange,
Or
And a little
pink
bit
and
of-
something else, or like
Yes.
orange and pink.
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
it was kind of more of a
more
greenish
of
color,
a
but
grapefruit.
it was a little faded in that Vegas sun.
Beyond that, Gila monster is actually a lizard, and it's one of 2 venomous lizards in North America.
Yes, it is.
What is the Gila monster's natural habitat? A, the rainforest, B, the fertile Great Plains, C, T-Mobile Arena, or D, the desert.
The desert.
Going with the desert.
I'm going with
It's the
C
desert.
and D.
It's the desert.
Mainly the desert.
That dirty desert,
Only on
baby.
game days.
Only
for
on game
T-Mobile.
days.
Go look it up. It's a big egg eater too. And next topic.
All right. True or false? The Gila monster's bite is very painful to humans and is fatal.
Well, hold on here. I want to give.
Oh, don't you do
No, I'm holding
this
you
during
down.
Trivia.
I want to give the listeners a chance to think about it before you blast off the correct answer on everything. Now,
Well, we're trying to move, Jay.
based
We're
on
an
the
hour 10 here.
yeah, whatever. Based on the fact that you said venomous earlier, I'm gonna go with deadly. Wait, what was the question? And what were my answer choices?
Did you take a nap?
True or false, Jay? That's your
Deadly.
choices.
True, they're deadly. Is that what you asked
The
me?
bite's very painful
Yes.
to humans and is fatal.
You said venomous, so yes.
That's true.
Actually, it's not.
Oh,
It's
Nope.
not.
Piss
It's
on
very
it.
painful, but it is not fatal for most.
Oh, really? For most.
Kind of like the vaccine.
So
Very
if you,
subtle,
So
Chris.
yes, I was right, and yes, I was wrong. I said yes to painful.
That was
but
kind of a tricky.
yeah, that was
true
a
false.
trick. True or false? Part of the half of that was
'Cause I
right.
knew you could die from it. But I did get my last thing from David Attenborough in 1983.
So with that, that's kind of the last thing that I have here on Vegas here. So with that, we would like to go ahead and thank our next sponsor, True Edge, skate sharpening and detailing. Check them out, guys.
Alrighty. Well,
All this
hey,
Vegas talk.
for those listeners, if we're a little long-winded, it's we're doing some new stuff. We're trying some new things. If you're enjoying, you're still listening, you want more, let's give you a little bit more. Let's jump into. We had some hockey talk. We're gonna talk about the hockey picks. So if you listened last week.
we don't need to break them all down. Let's just do a.
We're not gonna break them all
overalls.
down. Yeah, we're gonna do an overall. So overall, between Stephan, Jason, and Brent, we had Stephan with 6 out of 10 correct picks. We had Jason with 7 out of 10 correct picks, and we have Brent with 5 out of 10 correct picks. But let's just for a second, the biggest upset that I see was the Panthers taking a loss to both their Hurricanes, right? And
Yeah,
then
2 in a
also the
row.
Rangers.
Yeah.
I mean, who would have thunk that the Rangers would have pounded them, but also who would have guessed that the Hurricanes...
I did.
Was it the Hurricanes?
Clearly.
I think it was New York Islanders that beat them and the New Jersey Devils, right?
The Devils. Sorry, it was the Devils that beat them, not the Hurricanes.
I think the Islanders beat them, if I'm not mistaken.
Speaking of pounding, I just have to throw a loop back to Vegas here. We saw some cartoon characters, and without thinking, I go, "Oh, look, it's Pound Patrol." I was corrected; it was Paw Patrol.
Yes, they were the Paw Patrol characters, and I'm like, well, who knows? Maybe they have
It is
a
Vegas.
version. They have an adult version of Paw Patrol. Oh, and there was so many freaking kids down there. You'd be surprised. It's like a family destination. That's one thing we didn't mention.
That's why we couldn't find any adult gentleman places. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
No,
So
no.
we
So
segue.
it was both. You're correct. It was the Rangers and the Devils. And in our picks, neither of us chose the Rangers or the Devils for that win. However, Brent, you did choose the Rangers on a win, and they did win. I think it was against.
You know what? I'm still waiting to see how the fallout's going to happen in Florida right now. Still,
I'm not gonna lie. They did, against the Rangers. When I watched that game, they did not look like 7-0 at the time when we talked about them.
no, they
didn't look like that.
I watched a few other kind of shows regarding that, and I do think Florida will make the playoffs. I think Florida will be a favorite for the playoffs, but they're going to have a couple points this year that they're going to struggle. And that's because of the whole controversy with Quinn being associated with the Blackhawks, and hopefully that carryover isn't as long as some might think. But they got new coach there at the helm, and there's going to be a learning curve. So
Yeah,
we're going to
it'll
see
take
what's going to
some-
happen here.
It'll take some
Well,
time for
yeah,
them.
We also have to point out that we had we did a giveaway for anybody who could beat the person.
Yes,
Us.
who could
So
get
if
more picks
I
than
don't
us,
know if there
correct.
was anybody who got more picks than us, or if anybody even tried. But
I don't think anybody sent us anything.
You got to
No.
beat 7 out of 10.
Come on, guys.
for the win, Jason.
I guess that's free skate sharpening is
girls.
going to
Ladies.
Jay.
I mean,
Yeah, hey, cool. I'll take it. I got a Sparks, but you know what? There's nothing like, and
Not
that's a True Edge
sponsor
one.
yet.
Yeah, true that.
No
Not a
shit.
sponsor yet.
That's my line.
But I will say there's
sleeping.
there's
Maybe
nobody
was.
there's nobody like Rich down at True Edge.
Thank you for the sponsorship. He's
Yeah.
a sponsor now.
He really is, and he's the one that we just covered a minute ago. So I really I will take my skates there because I like my Sparks for the convenience, but it does not do what Rich can do. Just saying that I need to take my stuff in there and have my blades reprofiled a little bit because the way that the Sparks works is
Did you mess it up?
it comes in. Well, it comes in on the blade in a specific spot every time, and it comes in the same pressure, and so over time you start to wear a little nook in your actual blade. So you have to take it to somebody to grind that nook back out. It's just over time. You can't.
I love this. These conversations open up new topics in the future
yeah.
because I have a Sparks too.
Yeah.
Not a sponsor.
And I love it for what it is. I have
It's-
sharp skates every night.
It's good what it is. You know, like go to the pond. I don't got time to run.
Yep.
Give me what I need right now.
Yep. It's great. I sharpen the kids with it, but eventually you do have to go
But
have
I
somebody
definitely
work
have
on them.
somebody touch it up.
Yep. You always have to.
And Matt, I love you.
Yeah, Matt's great. He is. So that being said, takes us to the next portion of the hockey talk, which we kind of covered, but the upset. I mean, the Panthers. Did you guys expect that? Obviously, none of us expected it. We have 0 picks on both. And all of us chose the Panthers over both the Rangers and the Devils.
Yeah, we were all rooting for the Panthers over whoever they were playing.
I still thought the Hurricanes are going to be undefeated through this week. We were talking about Florida, but like, do you guys want to talk local?
Yeah, let's
The
make it
Red
a little
Wings.
local. I know.
They
Who
screwed up
wins?
everything but your one pick.
Well, me and Stefan totally went with the Red Wings.
Stefan didn't pick anything. He was in Vegas.
No.
I didn't watch a lick of TV except for the football games at the bar.
No, that surprised the hell out of me, and it gives
over the
me
Oilers,
even more hope.
because another
I know.
team. Me and Stefan went, or no, me and Brent.
Yeah.
Sorry, me and Brent went with the Red Wings over the Oilers.
I said Red Wings too.
You did as well. Yep.
I must have been hammered.
You were
Yeah.
hammered
Well,
drunk.
yeah, you were, and you were just really at that because the Red Wings had just played a game the day before or two before we picked where they had done really well.
And
So
did I do recall? I think I even said it's like, you know what? Nobody knows what they're doing.
a thorn in everybody's side. We
Yep.
talked about them being a thorn. So yeah, me and Brent had the correct on that. So that's another upset if you think about it. I mean, who would have thunk that the Red Wings
They're 3-0, and they got a 3-game win streak
would
going
have
on.
thought?
They're hot.
I think I only said it because I probably was inebriated a little bit at that time as well. But hey, Chris,
Good on them.
things are looking forward for you for your overall
Playoffs.
playoff picks. So, anyways, moving on from that, let's give me a little bit of.
What? We got another sponsor?
Oh, geez, here we go. We want to go ahead and thank On Your Game Pro Shop, the place for skate detailing, tape, and accessories.
So, Brent, this brings us to you. Now, we touched on this last week, but you said you wanted to bring a little more light to it.
Yeah, we did mention that we were going to talk about this last week.
Again, we said we would talk about it this week.
Talking about
Yeah.
the GOAT.
Yes, the greatest of all time.
The GOLFT.
The Goloff.
He doesn't spell very well.
Did I say that right?
You knew what he meant.
What sport
I
do we want to
I
talk?
have dyslexia.
Where would you like to start?
You guys, I will let you guys start with who your favorites are. Whatever sport it is, I'll drop it and we'll go from there.
Which ones are we doing?
Tennis.
Just the big four?
I don't care which one you choose. I could even go big five.
How
You
could-
didn't even know there was a fifth out there.
Could you cover golf?
No, yeah, that's it. That's done.
Oh, was that too
Ooh,
much?
Let's get him.
No, Arnold
Let's
Palmer
go with
Nicholson.
Yeah,
I mean, seriously, it's one of those two. Come on.
I was going to go with John Daly.
Ooh,
You would lose.
Also,
So, anyways,
he just doesn't have the
yeah.
titles.
Tiger Woods not even in the top four. So, anyways, carry on.
All right, well,
Well, did you have something other than just arguing
he
the
just
goats?
wants to argue tonight.
No, I feel like I can banter with this with some.
Well, we have to
backup.
choose. We have to choose something that we all know. So we either have to go hockey, baseball, football. Let's do football.
Greatest of all time.
Greatest of all time football player.
Football is one of those things you can't argue and win because the positions are so individual. based on offense, defense. If you want to sit there and talk quarterbacks, I'm probably going to argue with you and say probably.
I want to say the most destructive player.
Tom Brady's up there right now, but as a quarterback on the offensive side, Terry Bradshaw is probably one of the better ones on that end. Running back wise, we could argue Barry Sanders. Wide receiver wise, Jerry Rice.
Let's stick with QBs because I think we're all super familiar with almost every quarterback who's ever existed, history or accolades. As far as running backs, there's probably a lot I don't know other than Barry Sanders. As far as tight ends, there's probably a lot I don't know other than Gronk.
Thurman Thomas, Emmitt Smith.
Wide receivers is probably a lot I know other than Primetime. He was a he was a cornerback, wasn't he?
He did both.
Any wide receiver?
Yep.
Yeah, he played baseball too, didn't he?
Let's go, Mr. Primetime. I love that guy. Everyone hates him, but I love him.
He was one of my favorites.
Dude, he is the character.
Yeah. Dude, you can't tell me he's not an athlete when he makes professional sports and two different sports.
Did you ever hear about
Michael Jordan did that?
Yeah. Okay. Don't even.
So did Bo Jackson.
The
you guys want to talk about the real GOAT?
I thought you'd say Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson.
What?
I love Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson.
He actually did 3.
Bo knows.
He played both sports and had a cartoon character about him.
Did you guys?
No, he's not wrong. Michael Jordan also had a character. He played
that
himself.
That was Space Jam.
Yeah, Space Jam.
Come on.
But I don't want to give LeBron anything, so we got to
also
greatest one in
terrible movie.
greatest Space Jam, LeBron or Michael Jordan.
All right, so where are we going with
Jordan.
this?
So real quick, I just want to point out. Do you guys ever listen to the story about how Dion has like the fastest 40 ever recorded at the time?
Yeah.
Like broke all the records. Like how it all happened. Do you ever listen to the whole story?
No.
I don't recall.
So how he literally takes a jet, gets in the limo, gets there, gets out, doesn't even stretch, runs the 40, and then just keeps running right out of the building and right back in the limo and pieces out.
Willie Mays Hayes style.
And he goes in the interview, he's like, there's someone said they recorded a 5.3. He's like, I'd slap him. It was a 5.2 and all this and jazz. But he goes, you ever see it? He goes, you know why I didn't stretch? You ever seen a cheetah stretch before it goes on spray? But just so Dion, like just show up, run, and then just run right out of the building.
I've always enjoyed primetime.
Jerry curl, greasy hair, chains. Anyways, best quarterback of all time, the GOAT. For quarterback position, I'm going Michael Vick. The dude never got his chance to go on, but that dude was amazing.
You kidding me right now? You can't even bring up that conversation.
I'd like to back him up. Colin Kaepernick would have my choice.
Yeah, you both are terrible.
Unreal.
No,
it's very
How about
hard.
Doug Flutie? Can I go with Doug Flutie?
You know what? Doug Flutie, though.
I'm serious.
And very honest, I would totally almost
Is he up
support
there?
him. Oh, yeah, he's way up
I
there.
mean, Doug
because the
Flutie.
Canadian Football League was you can't sit there and say that wasn't a legit league.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The Canadian Football League is legit. Doug Flutie, his accomplishments in there. I don't know how many titles he have. That is something I don't know about that. But he did come over to the NFL, and not only did he win a bunch of titles in the Canadian Football League, he was also a true competitor in the NFL. This is actually a great argument because what would he have done if he would have done blah, 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 blah. I don't think Doug Flutie overall was big enough height-wise.
During his time, though? I mean...
Height-wise. Height is how tall he is to be able to be an effective NFL quarterback.
Yeah, 'cause he wasn't that tall.
He's not a very tall guy.
5'10".
There's Flutie flakes.
He's
Come on,
not that tall.
You go look it up. Doug
5'10", product of Boston College.
Yeah, Doug Flutie is a phenomenal quarterback. Is he the GOAT?
I mean,
no.
seriously, can you say anybody
He's
other than Peyton
not-
Manning?
You can't.
Peyton Manning is another great
he's up
argument.
there, but
Seriously, Peyton
He
and
really
and
is.
It's really between Peyton. If you, in all honesty, I think you're looking between Peyton and
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Oh, bullshit. Joe Montana, Terry.
No, I know, but
Terry
during
Bradshaw,
Montana, Theismann.
but during the days-
lots of great quarterbacks
Roger
out there.
Staubach.
But those guys didn't have Gronk to throw to, so then there's also that theory. Like, dude, there wasn't guys like Gronk back then who were just hands the size of frying pans, rip your face right off.
The Iron Curtain that Terry Bradshaw had in front of him gave him the opportunity to throw to those guys.
Yeah, true that.
You know, and that was kind of a line thing.
But was Bradshaw the best of his time or the best of all time?
Roger Staubach and Terry Bradshaw were the two best of that.
You almost have to go then and now.
Yeah.
Greatest then, greatest now.
But you can't when you talk about the GOAT.
You can't.
Because that's the greatest of all time. You can't.
Gotta go Brady. Gosh dang it.
I don't know.
I like Tom Brady. I really do because he's a Michigan guy.
And he's a great guy. Like, straight up.
He's
just
straight
a
up.
nice guy.
You know, I definitely want to say that I am a Terry Bradshaw fan. And
I love Terry.
Look at the titles.
He's been in a ton of movies. I mean, how many movies has Brady been in?
Movies, television series.
How many movies has Brady been in? I think they do commercials now.
Yeah.
But you want to talk about football. Everybody's going to be an individual. Leadership, the intangibles that they bring to the locker room, to the sideline, on the field. I mean, I love it when I just could feel that when people looked at Terry Bradshaw, because I'm old, so I remember watching Terry Bradshaw. Joe Theismann was another one. Didn't have the Super Bowl titles.
Yeah, he broke his leggy.
Yeah, Lawrence Taylor,
another great quarterback. LT.
He was, but
wasn't he a defensive end?
Joe Theismann?
No, LT.
LT was, yeah.
I said Joe Montana.
Joe Montana was a quarterback, you idiot.
Point being, it's unless you have a stack of titles, that's the only reason I would consider Tom Brady in this conversation.
Yeah, you got to decide if it's what they did or titles.
You go ahead and you look it up. You look at Super Bowl wins as a quarterback. You're going to have Roger Staubach. You're going to have Terry Bradshaw. And you're going to have Tom Brady in that conversation. Other than that, everybody else. Johnny Unitas was amazing, but you can't put him in.
But where does Peyton... So there's two other people I want to talk about.
Peyton Manning.
Where does he stand?
Peyton Manning, he's 5 or below.
I mean, he's there, right? He's there.
Definitely in the top 10.
Now, what about...
Where's the titles?
Dan
Marino?
Marino. I mean, come on.
He's
in there.
Dan Marino, I'd say 5 or below again. Dan Marino did hold the passing records for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Touchdowns, yardage, all this kind of stuff. Dan Marino...
Not the greatest of all time.
He's not the greatest of all time, but was he not phenomenal?
Dude, he's had some phenomenal years.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But the titles, does he stack up the titles?
Many years. The title is what defines you as the GOAT.
Right. So he doesn't have, I mean, Dan Marino's got titles, but is he stacking like...
and then all of a sudden we go to the other side, going into hockey, the greatest of all time, what about titles? Wayne Gretzky. He got him with the Oilers and never saw him again.
Yeah.
And
still the GOAT.
And here we go. I will argue that. Because you know what?
We're talking go to football right now. Let's not get a tangent.
No, I'm already past that because we can do position. Let's go to another sport. You know what?
Well,
you pick the sport.
I'm gonna say we should do greatest of all time on a different sport every episode.
Okay, fine.
Let's get through the sports. We're wrapping up here. There's the one thing I do want to talk about.
Seriously, who is your legit GOAT if we want to talk quarterbacks of the NFL?
Personally, who am I choosing?
It'd be
100%.
It's not Michael Vick.
Listen, I will say if things hadn't happened to him, I bet that dude could have brought a lot of championships.
I wouldn't argue that.
He was before he got good. Dude, he was running more yards than half of the running backs in the league. It was amazing.
He was
However, he made a comeback after the dog ring.
Yeah. But
not a great comeback, but
no. But had not all that all happened, I think things would have been a little bit different. Again, would have been. But if I'm choosing right now, the best player, and a greatest of all time, you guys got to remember, you're talking to a younger generation, so I got to go based off what I've seen, not only what I know. And I'm going Tom Brady. I love the guy, and I think he's brought the Patriots so many freaking titles.
I think that's a great argument. Tom Brady is the only person besides Roger Staubach and Terry Bradshaw that is even worthy, in my opinion, to be even included in that GOAT.
Because I think a lot of it has to do with character too. I can't choose a complete a-hole as the GOAT. The same way I won't choose LeBron as the GOAT. I refuse to choose LeBron as the GOAT because I think he's a complete
talking about
a-hole.
basketball.
No,
You
no,
just
no.
told me.
I'm saying I'm
That's
taking
next
it.
week's episode.
I'm just taking that as I
Michael Jordan, by the way.
also take character into perspective.
Absolutely. That's what makes you the GOAT.
Yes,
It's the
greatest
intangibles. That's what I
everything.
just said. The
And
intangibles.
I think Tom Brady
And
is
titles.
just a super awesome guy.
You got your hand up? You got a
Yes,
question?
I got my pen up. I just wanted to add something on the Michael Vick front and how he was exiled and went from the NFL.
You know
and
what? Let's
and
not
went
get
went
into
to
it.
jail. But
If
could you imagine? Could you imagine if making his comeback, he didn't play for the Eagles and he played for the Cleveland Browns as a dog as their mascot? Wouldn't that be awkward?
Oh my God.
That's
why they didn't pick him up.
Michael Vick.
Chris is laughing in the corner. That was a joke. You tried to step on it. I should kick your ass.
I should beat you.
I gave you the wrong.
I can't get behind the joke because
Okay.
Michael Vick.
That was just a joke, though.
I know it was. Michael Vick was a phenomenal quarterback. He
Don't
really,
church him up. He was a piece of shit.
No, he wasn't. He was a great quarterback. If you're talking about
Terrible
professional,
human.
As a human, we all make mistakes. So let's not throw all the
Let's
garbage
not
out.
call him terrible. Fair
No,
enough.
I'm just tongue in cheek.
I was just looking at a way to make some extra
But
cash.
the dog thing, I will be honest with the gambling on dogs, and that bothered me a lot. That took me from a Michael Vick fan to not a fan.
Yeah.
That
I
really
think that-
bothered me because I am a dog person.
Yes.
And to hear that bothered me a lot. I was, to be honest, happy that that he didn't get his name in lights like he should have if he would have made the right choices.
Yeah.
But that's part of becoming the GOAT. You have to make the right choices.
That's what I'm getting at.
So that's why I'm going, like I said, all day long, Brady. Stephan, what about you?
I agree.
And I'm the old guy,
You're
Terry
gonna
Bradshaw.
You go Bradshaw. And also a great guy. Let's be honest. He's pretty funny.
You got to admit, Terry Bradshaw. And you know what? Like, you guys go look him up. That guy had social anxiety.
Monster of a man.
He was kicked out of Pittsburgh. And it took many years for him to come back and do a speech and be welcomed.
Wasn't he
and
very...
Terry Bradshaw's inspirational.
Wasn't he very outspoken too? Like, wasn't he or was he more of an introvert?
He was very introverted. He actually had anxiety and went through a lot of things. I've watched some documentaries on him.
See, again, I don't know him
very,
during that time.
Very inspirational person to know some of the hardships that he went through.
What about you, Chris? You got an opinion?
I have no dog in this fight.
Ooh.
Wait
a minute. Hold on. I know there's a button for this one. Let's go with this one right here. Just hit the damn button.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
That's enough button.
Yeah, that's enough button. Let's end the show. Let's
All
call
right.
it done.
All right. Well, there's something I do want to cover, but I think we'll come to it later. So I'm going to leave the listeners with beard or mullet. That's going to be the next discussion. Beard or mullet.
Interesting.
Or both.
Well, based on Stephan.
Look at you two.
Stephan's a straight beard guy. So, but we'll get into that later.
All right. Follow, like, and subscribe so you never miss any of our new content. Send us an email. Be sure to check out justchirpin.com. Thank you for listening. See you at the ring.
Welcome to the show. It's called Chirpin, yo. And chirpin's what we do. And if you play a little bit of hockey, then I'm sure you'll be chirping too.